In a game, electronic game, and even non-electronic board games are simple models. And in playing some are more complex than others. In playing the game, you are slowly reverse engineering that model in your head, and that's probably the primary thing that people learn from games. Probably the most important thing is how to step into a complex system and quickly reverse engineer that model in your head. And a lot of these are simulations of things that, of course, are themselves abstracts of reality. So when somebody plays a flight simulator or SimCity, for instance, the flight simulator is not exactly behaving the way an airplane would, and SimCity is not exactly behaving the way a city would. But it's an incremental step to a more accurate model, probably relative to what the player already has coming into that. People have this kind of vague idea of the way cities work. SimCity has a very formal idea of the way cities work, which is not correct. But it is a formalization that, once people can kind of reverse engineer that formalization in their head to the point where they're arguing against it, I don't think that's the way land value actually works, or I don't think, crime would be influenced by this factor. In some sense, they've now graduated the model. They now have, in some sense, it also helps crystallize their own internal model of the way a city actually works. And so I think that's a big part of it. And then having a shared language, that you and I can argue over this model as a point of reference. And it might, be a clarifying, almost a map of the way we're thinking about a system. But I think that's also why games have tended to be very resistant to formal assessment, which is, one of the limiting factors, right now in using them in education, is the fact that they're almost teaching this meta-knowledge, not when the Battle of Incourt was fought, but how societies interact that led to that battle.